Let's talk about the doubleheader that's on ESPN tonight, starting with the back end. What is Steve Kerr thinking right now, do you think, Jay?
I think Steve's taken a lot of time to think about what combinations they can use that can be effective. With Steph Curry, if he's not able to play, and it doesn't sound like he's going to be able to play with this hamstring thing, the grade 1 hamstring, that puts a lot of pressure on everybody else. So Buddy Hield, when Steph's out there, he can be a catch and shoot threat to really spread the floor. But he's a primary threat with Curry out, and he's going to face a lot more defensive attention. And obviously that's more difficult. Now, early in the season, he handled it really well. Like Buddy Hield averaged well over 20 points a game early in the season. But that productivity kind of went down as the season went along. And he's had a really good end of season and playoffs. I think since the Jimmy Butler trade, Golden State's been the best defensive team since Jimmy Butler put on a Warriors uniform. But I think he lifted up a number of players also on the offensive end, and Buddy Hield's one of them. But, you got an asymmetrical threat on the floor when Curry's out there. I mean, he can shoot it from anywhere. He's running off screens. Rich, I don't think I've ever seen a player that's more dangerous when he gives the ball up than Steph Curry is. So he gives the ball up. It's not in his hands anymore. And he can move to an area. I mean, he must run 2.5, 3 miles a game and hurt you once he gives the ball up. And without that threat out there, they become much easier to guard. And Minnesota's really good. Like, they're deep and they've got length and athleticism and a ton of versatility. And they've really gotten used to the Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo dynamic since the trade. Like, trades usually take some time to figure out, and they seem to have really figured that out.
Jay, you know I have known each other for quite some time, so you know I don't usually traffic in the let me tell you what I said earlier on my program and you agree with me type of question, but I'm about to jump in that way, Jay. I said earlier Game 4 is a must-win for the Knicks up 2-1. Would you agree?
Yes, I would. And we have known each other a long time. We both had hair when we first started working together. And we are now
more handsome. No, let me finish that sentence. No, I want to help. Let me finish the sentence. We're now more handsome. You're welcome.
That's not true. I am. You're not. Let's not use unless you're using the royal we with regard to me.
I appreciate that, but you agree. You agree with me.
I do, and I thought it was like I don't know. Reasonable minds can differ on this. People have different views, but I always laugh when people say "live by the 3, die by the 3." Because nobody ever says, well, live by the post up, die by the post up. Live by the double team, die by the double team. Live by the mid-range shot, die by, none of that makes any sense. Like, Boston can shoot it from like eight different guys can make threes. And the way they spread the floor, they're incredibly good. And they're scoring 120 points a game doing it that way. They're a prolific 3-point shooting team. They have a couple games where they don't shoot it well. They kind of, I thought they gave 2 of those games away. At least one was a giveaway. And so I didn't think the series was over by any stretch. And if this year has taught us anything, home court in the NBA in the playoffs is not what it used to be. 20 years ago, or when Bird and Magic were playing, you got Game 7 of your home court. You're like, man, it's over. Boston's going to win. All this stuff. That's not the case anymore. I mean, the road teams are winning more often. I think in the conference semifinals, I think this is still true that the road teams have a winning record, and that's hard to fathom really over the course of 4 different series. So I don't not only count Boston out. I think they're the favorite in the series.
Okay. That said, are the Pacers playing the best basketball of anybody in the playoffs right now, Jay?
They're playing really well. Rick Carlisle's such a great coach, and one of those guys that probably doesn't get the credit he deserves. And now he's the all-time winningest playoff coach in Pacers history. But I had them a few times during the regular season. I thought, man, these guys are really good. You just kind of wonder, do they have the go-to ability at the end of a game? Like, in whose hands do they put it? And it's Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, that dude, whoever voted him overrated, I think they're probably feeling bad about it now and hope they don't get outed, when the votes become public. But They defend really well. They're a solid transition team, but they've got a bunch of really, really good players. And I think Halliburton's a great player, but they're really good in most every spot, and they're tough. Like, they play with an edge. And even though, you don't like seeing Benedict Mathurin get thrown out and all that stuff, and we have to be adults and say, hey, you shouldn't do that. But I kind of like the way they play with that edge right now. And they've been doing it through the latter part of the season. Early on in the season, they kind of I don't want to say struggle, but it was tough for them out of the gate. They weren't winning at the same clip as they were at the end, but they're legit. And one of the great things, I'm not sure that the results that we're getting are the best thing for ratings today. I know that the media companies probably would like to have the Lakers and Golden State advancing and all that stuff, but Minnesota and OKC, I mean, these guys are the future. And get used to watching them, because they're not going anywhere.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.